Hey, welcome back to the basics. I haven't posted in a really long time, and I kind of want to talk about why I really haven't been posting. Um, Originally, the very first video I did, I've only posted like three videos. First video I did, I talked about how this was one of my goals. I wanted to do something that was going to benefit my students at school, that was going to help them be better musicians, how to learn how to practice, to do all of that kind of stuff. And it really didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And that's really my fault. It's all my fault. And I was looking at why I haven't really posted a lot of videos and what got in the way of my goal. And what it was I wasn't willing to take a risk. Um, and I think I really realized this, just this last Tuesday. And I've decided that I really want to get better at a lot of different things. And one of the things I really want to get better at is jazz. I love listening to jazz. I was in jazz band in high school. I wasn't very good in jazz band in high school. Um, I don't think my band director ever told me that, but I wasn't really good at it. Um, I think he was. Sometimes I think band directors get really happy about just having someone in band. I played the vibraphone. I didn't play the drum set. I didn't do any of that. I played the vibraphone, and it was fun to play, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I've joined jazz band at the community college, and it's been a great experience where I'm playing an instrument that I don't normally play. I normally play, marimba, vibraphone, xylophone, that kind of stuff, and I'm playing drum set, and it's been great. But what I've found as I've been taking this class is that I'm a good timekeeper, and I can sit there, I can keep time, I can keep it really well. I don't even know what to compare it to, but I can keep time really well. But what I can't do is I can't fill. I can't add to that music to make it my own, to complement those other people that are performing. Um, if they said, "Hey, drum solo," no, it wouldn't happen because I don't know how to do that. And so this last Tuesday, the reason I'm talking about this last Tuesday, I decided I had to take some risks. Because if I wanted to get better at doing a drum fill, and that's where I'm starting, is doing a drum fill, I had to take some risks. And there would be positive things that would come from them. And so I did some fills, and there were several fills that I finished the fill, and I was like, yeah, never going to do that one again. And there were some that I was pleased that they fit well. And then when I'd find one that worked, it's kind of like that's all I would use. And so it got really monotonous. And so I was really just trying to take some risks. Well, as I was thinking about that and driving home from that, I have a 40-minute drive from home from jazz band. And I was thinking about that and got to school the next day to teach my own classes and realized that's what music is. Music is all about taking risks. Every day. And so when I look at my high schoolers, and really, guys, my high school band I'm in a small town. It's not like if I was in, a town that had, a couple high schools and each high school had, 1,500 kids. The level that you get from those 1,500 kids is every year you have a handful of kids that help you set the bar where at a pretty high level, and you can bring people up pretty close to that bar. In a small town like where I teach, having good players is, every other year. And right now I have I have two players that are absolutely amazing, and I have about 10 others that are working their tails off to get there and still have a ways to go, but they're doing it. But what we talked about in class was that you have to take the risks. If you want to get better, there have to be those errors. You have to be willing to take a risk, fail at it, and draw from that failure and get better. There's going to be times that we fail and we don't learn anything because we gave up. But when we fail and we understand the risks that we took, that we were doing, we tried something because we were trying to be better. At those moments, those are when we grow. It's really hard to grow when everything's right every time. So we take those risks, and every single day in music, my kids have been taking those risks. I have percussion who are shy. They don't want to be heard when they make a mistake, and so they don't play. They have to take the risk of being wrong. You're either going to be right or wrong. There's nothing in the middle. You're either moving forward or backward. And so we were talking about that. It's been a really good thing to talk about, that as they've been listening to themselves, we've been recording the last couple of days, and as they've been listening, for them to hear themselves and say, yeah, that doesn't sound good. But they took the risk. And as they listen to it, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't sound good. Now that opens up the conversation of how do we get it better? And in that, we were able to do a couple of things that were simple things. Like, okay, so our balance is wrong. How do we fix our balance? Who needs to play a little bit softer? Who needs to bring their part out? All of those things. And so when it comes to recording a video, I have a hard time taking those risks, because there's so many times that I feel like I really don't have anything to add. I watch all these other videos and I'm like, man, I wish I could talk like them. There's some woodworking channels I really like to watch. I watch Woodworking for Mere Mortals, and he's funny, and he makes it fun to learn about woodworking. And I think that's what I would love to do. And I talk to my kids at school. I'm like, how do I make these videos more interesting? And because I showed them one of the videos, and they're like, no, it was really informative. And I was like, but is it something you'd watch? And they're like, and they were very polite and said, oh no, it was good. And I was like, but it's still, you haven't answered the question. Would you watch it? And when I look at it, I'm like, I wouldn't watch it. It's not entertaining enough. And I think that's one of the things, and that I have a hard time taking a risk, because I'm not talking to anybody. You can see I'm in an office by myself right now, and I'm not talking to anybody but a camera. And so how do I take that risk to present something in the way that I present it when I'm live in person in class? I enjoy teaching. I absolutely love it. I'm not really good at talking to myself. I want to make sure that it's clear and understood. It's a risk that I have a hard time taking. And so I'm going to try this. I'm going to try and teach some concepts as if I were teaching my class. We're going to take some risks. It may be really silly. It may be really stupid sometimes, but that's the idea, is that I want to take those risks that are going to help me grow as I learn to teach in a different environment. I want to be able to reach my own students in a slightly different way, that they have an opportunity to see that I'm taking risks at the same time that I struggle with things. I struggle with things that seem to be, or should be, somewhat simple, where I'm standing in front of nobody and talking about how to play eighth notes, whatever it happens to be. I'd love it to be something that they want to watch. Feel free to leave me comments. I think this is an opportunity. This is those risks. I'm going to get good comments. I'm going to get bad comments. I may get no comments. Doesn't matter to me. The risk is there, and I'm taking it. Thank you, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this. I don't even know how to end this anymore. It's those risks. How do you get out of the video? But know that I absolutely love my job. I love teaching. I love music. and I'm willing to risk a lot of things when it comes to music. So, thanks.